I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Fucking A.
So, what do you say we got acquainted, huh? What's your name? Answer me.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Your name is Fuck You? What kind of a name is that?
My name is Fuck You. You see right here on my license it says, Fuck You!
This is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review, another Patreon request, this time for Rich Pierce, which is pretty cool because Rich Pierce is actually a man who has written movies that have gotten made, including Oliver Gruner classic, Sector 4. I say that because I've talked to him about that movie. I mean, at least when I reviewed that film long ago, and he was very nice about the review, because I hated the film badly, and he was cool with it. He didn't take offense to it. He was I thought that was really nice of him, because from what I understand, it's not his fault on that movie. I remember I heard a commentary once where they said, "Don't blame the writer for the movie until you see all the strips." I think it was for like the Halloween 4 commentary, Alan B. McElroy, but. Rich Pierce, very nice guy, very kind guy. And he pledged to my Patreon. And for those who's ever interested, I do have a Patreon, as well as PayPal. The links are down below if you're ever interested in supporting. If not, don't worry. And today, Rich Pierce wanted a review of Captured, which I had never heard of. I didn't know what this movie was. It was on YouTube for free. Some uploaded it into parts. It's a 1998 direct-to-video film. And I'm like, what is this movie? Captured. It is a drama, not really thriller, I would say. It's a movie that stars Nick Mancuso and Andrew Divoff. And I'm like, okay, I like those two actors. Nick Mancuso, for those who don't know, he was the bad guy in the Brandon Lee film Rapid Fire. And then Andrew Divoff, he was in The Wishmaster and the bad guy in the film Toy Soldiers. And Andrew Divoff, he was the bad guy in the sequel, Another 48 Hours. You've seen Andrew Divoff in a lot of stuff. And the movie, granted, it is a direct-to-video film. You tell it's a very low budget. It's not a film of action. It's not a film of horror. It's very small movie. But what made it work, and I thought was actually a fairly decent flick, is the story and the two actors. Because the idea behind the film is Nick Mancuso is this workaholic real estate developer who is on hard times because his marriage is struggling, and he wants to build this place, but environmentalists are stopping it. So it's stopping him in his tracks, so he's dealing with all that stuff. And on this bad day of his, these two brothers, one of them Andrew Divoff, tries to steal his car. He beats one up. Divoff stops him to save his brother. They escape, and Divoff's like, oh, you know what, I'm going to get that guy's car later. And he does, but by this point, Nick Mancuso has hired his nephew to redo the car so that when Andrew Divoff tries to steal it, the car locks and keeps Andrew Divoff trapped in the car. And the movie is Nick Mancuso torturing Andrew Divoff, the carjacker, in his car. And you see them, and then you're trying to say, well, wait, who is the bad guy? And maybe one guy's not as bad as the other guy. And Andrew Divoff being tortured by Nick Mancuso blaring the music, so it's heard in Andrew Divoff's ears. There's a point where Andrew Divoff's fingers get cut off by damn pruning shears. And that's the best chunk of the movie, is their back and forth, and Nick Mancuso, you know, all these modifications he's done on his car, bulletproof glass, things of that nature. Everything can be controlled by a little remote control. And Nick Mancuso, he really plays off his frenzy. And the guy who's losing it. He's losing it. And that breakdown. And then Andrew Divoff, usually you see him as the very nasty, hardcore villain. Not really the case here, which is a nice contrast. It's nice to see Andrew Divoff play a bit of a different type of character, because I do think he's a good actor. And there's some fun lines of dialogue and humor, like, "What's your name?" "Fuck you." "What kind of name is that?" "Fuck you. You see my license? It says fuck you, so fuck you." You know, moments of that nature. So I really don't know how long this review will be, because it's very straightforward, and you're not having a lot of, which I don't know how often I would ever rewatch this movie, because you're not getting action pieces of any kind. You're not getting fights. You're not getting, it's nowhere of that sort. It's not a horror film. It's hard to even call it a thriller. Again, it's just these two characters playing off each other while one's trapped in a car, the other goes about his day, things are going better, things are going worse, then torture a bit more of Andrew Divoff's character. And then you have Nick Mancuso's, his character's wife, which that actress did alright, so, I mean, not the best, not the worst. And I didn't mind the conclusion. I thought the way it reached the conclusion, it worked out fine for me. I thought the two actors did their jobs very well. For example, there's one scene where Nick Mancuso is breaking down, even though things are going well job-wise, but you realize how screwed he is with his other stuff. There's a point where he breaks down because of that. There's one moment with Andrew Divoff's character I thought they went overboard, where one thing leads to another. Andrew Divoff has the wife character of Nick Mancuso, and he's like feeling her up, and I'm like, you know what, when you do that kind of stuff, you're not really trying to, hard for me to feel sorry for you, like the movie's trying to tell me. But I mean, it didn't go over the line so much that it lost me, let me put it that way. Like, you get in there, but okay, yeah, I still care for Andrew Divoff's character more than Nick Mancuso's character. And like I said, the movie is really poorly marketed. I couldn't find a trailer for this. The cover is awful. It makes it look like a killer car film, as if it's Maximum Overdrive, Christine, The Car, whatever killer super hybrid, whatever killer car movie you want to mention. It's not a killer car movie, despite the cover, which will be in the thumbnail for this. I would say if the idea, the premise interests you at all, if the two actors, Nick Mancuso and Andrew Divoff, interests you at all, it's for free on YouTube. If you want to see a movie that has some, you know, just a story decently told, interesting premise, with two actors doing a solid job, no BS, crazy, stupid, downbeat ending. It's not that long of a film. I think it's like 80, 90 minutes long, give or take. I think it's worth the watch. I think it's one of those I don't know if I'd go so far to say hidden gem, but one of those, you know what, this movie's better than I thought it would be. With a generic title I captured and a bad cover poster and a movie I've never heard of before. I'm like, you know what, this was, yeah. I don't know why I'm doing a Robert De Niro impression. Not that bad. It's not that bad of a flick. I'm glad I at least saw it once, and hey, I thank Rich Pierce for introducing me to a decent flick where a story was fairly well told. I mean, I didn't have problems with the film. Yeah, I would have wished a bit more, maybe a bit more intricacies with the Mancuso messing with Andrew Divoff in the car. Maybe a bit more. I don't know how you would put action into this type of storyline. I really don't. It does have that low budget feel. I can't put my finger on it, but you can tell that not a lot of money was used on this flick. Again, I can't put my money, but you just has that feeling of it. Just, you don't see a lot of locations. It's kind of the same type of sets, and the wife character, she was there, but she wasn't really the most interesting character. I don't know if that was just the acting or the script. But overall, Andrew Divoff, different kind of role for him. That was nice to see that play out. Nick Mancuso is a guy that you feel his frustration, anger, he's losing it. Did a pretty damn decent job. And like I said, the idea of someone locking a carjacker in their own car and torturing the guy, haven't seen that plot done a lot. So a little bit of originality in that. I thought that was kind of cool too. So captured. This seems like a made-for-cable movie. If this was a made-for-cable film, I would not be surprised. It does seem like a made-for, although there's not really much for violence or nudity. It's just mainly language. But still, if this was a made-for-cable movie, I could buy it. That's what the budget feels like. Like if it was made for Showtime or something. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. Thank you once again, Rich Pierce. Sorry if the review wasn't all that. But it is a very simple, straightforward flick. Not too overly complicated. And not that bad of a movie. But thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.